GeM either as a consignee or as a buyer. So you should know what GeM is doing and where we were and where are we now. So the earlier procurement system which was there in the country, it was not a marketplace based procurement system. It was a can I speak in English or can I use mix of Hindi and English?
So you can use a mix of Hindi and English.
Okay.
Some of the participants are more comfortable in English, some in Hindi, but everybody understands. So it's
Okay.
no issues.
ओके सो जो पहले हमारा एक प्रोक्योरमेंट सिस्टम था वो उसके कई सारे लिमिटेशंस हुआ करते थे। आप लोगों ने सुना होगा पहले डीजीएसएनडी नाम की एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन थी जो कि प्रोक्योरमेंट के लिए रेट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स किया करती थी हर एक आइटम के लिए। और उन आइटम्स के रेट्स एक साल के लिए या जो भी जितने भी समय के लिए रेट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किया जाता था फ्रीज कर दिए जाते थे रेट्स। अब उस प्रोक्योरमेंट सिस्टम की कई सारी जो इनएफिशिएंसीज थी कि एक तो जो वेंडर बेस था वो लोकलाइज था एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया लाइक कोलकाता, और आप समझ लीजिए आगरा के वेंडर्स हैं, कुछ साउथ के वेंडर्स हैं, बट ऐसा नहीं था कि पैन इंडिया बेसिस पे कोई उसमें पार्टिसिपेट करता था उस प्रोसेस में। सो द वर्स्ट साइड ऑफ दिस वाज कि वी वर नॉट एबल टू discover the price, what should be the actual price, competitive price, dynamic based on the market conditions and all. Other than that, the old process was very much time consuming because a lot of manual work was involved. Pre-IREPS era, if you think of, so there were manual files, manual tenders, manual TC, and each and everything. There was no sharing of data with any other external portal. Everything buyer will have to verify. There was no pre-verified data available to the buyer, and transferring a document from one place to another place, you used to have physical files for moving that thing. So the overall process was very much time consuming. And then there were various procurement guidelines and there were various conflicts in between those guidelines. So buyer was totally confused, like which guidelines to follow in which scenario and all. Like there is MSME policy, there is Make in India guideline, there are certain GFR compliances, then there is a railway procurement manual, there is some other stores manual, there is some finance manual, which guideline to follow, which preference to give in which situation. Suppose you are procuring some POL item, you are procuring some khadi item, so which guidelines to follow. So everybody used to be confused, like if I'm doing the things in right manner or not. So the government came up with an idea, okay, let's digitize everything and bring a single portal where all types of buyers and sellers can come together and can do the procurement, and rules and regulations and necessary checks and balances will be deployed in place by government e-marketplace. So they established a Section 8 company with the name of government e-marketplace, and the old department, that is DGSND, that was wound up. So with that government also inserted one rule number 149 in general financial rule. General financial rules are the governing rules for all types of these procurement activities or any other financial expenditure which is done by any government buyer. All the other manuals like railway finance manual or any defense finance manuals, they have been derived their rules and conditions from the GFR only. So this is the guiding document for all the procurements related to goods and service by all the central government buyers only. But on GeM, we have not only central buyers, but we have state governments, PSUs, and all types of government entities available who do the procurement on GeM. Then we have made all types of tools available which can expedite the procurement. Like we have direct buying on GeM, wherein you can purchase any goods with any specification up to 25,000. You need not to enter into any tendering formality or any kind of bidding thing. you can just directly go to the marketplace, just like any other procurement or e-commerce platform like Amazon or Flipkart. You can select item of relevant specifications, and reasonability, of course, is the responsibility of buyer. So you can just check if the rates are correct and reasonable. We are providing you tools to validate the rates, like we provide you purchase trends, then we provide you purchase history of that item. So basis that you can compare and come up with a recommendation. Okay, so the product is meeting my requirement in terms of specification and quality, and rates are also reasonable, so we can go for the purchase. So up to 25,000, like normal office use items, pen, pencil, stationery, or be it sanitizer, or some small equipment like one printer you want to procure, three chairs you want to procure, so you can go for direct purchase. Then the second mode of procurement was provided, that is L1 procurement. So government said, okay, if you want to make direct purchase, we will allow you even beyond 25,000, but आपको 3 प्रोडक्ट्स अलग अलग मेक के कंपेयर करने होंगे, जिनके की स्पेसिफिकेशंस आप सेलेक्ट कर लेंगे। आपने जो भी स्पेसिफिकेशन सेलेक्ट किए हैं उसके बेसिस पर पोर्टल में आपको एक L1 प्रोडक्ट सजेस्ट किया जाएगा। आप 5 लाख तक उस L1 प्रोडक्ट पे अपना ऑर्डर डाल सकते हैं। उसके बाद जो वो L1 प्रोडक्ट होगा, आपको ये देख लेना है कि आपके स्पेसिफिकेशन, आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट वो मीट कर रहा है कि नहीं। स्पेसिफिकेशंस के फिल्टर जो है पोर्टल पे दिए जाते हैं, उनको आप जैसे जैसे सेलेक्ट करते जाएंगे, जो प्रोडक्ट स्पेसिफिकेशन मीट नहीं कर रहे होंगे वो फिल्टर आउट होते जाएंगे। अल्टीमेटली जो प्रोडक्ट्स बचेंगे उनमें जो L1 आ रहा होगा उस पर आप 5 लाख तक का एक डायरेक्ट ऑर्डर डाल सकते हैं। उसके बाद अगर मान लीजिए आपका वो L1 प्रोडक्ट है या डायरेक्ट प्रोक्योरमेंट में आपके स्पेसिफिकेशन मीट नहीं कर रहे हैं, या आप कुछ ऐसा क्राइटेरिया, टर्म्स, कंडीशन डालना चाहते हैं, जैसे कि आपको सप्लाई, इंस्टॉलेशन, कमीशनिंग के साथ चाहिए कोई प्रोडक्ट, या आपकी उसमें कोई एडिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट है, लाइक आप ट्रेनिंग भी कराना चाहते हैं कि उस इक्विपमेंट की ट्रेनिंग भी दे आके बायर, या आप कुछ चाहते हैं और ऐसे कमर्शियल टर्म्स की आप डिलीवरी यहाँ पे करेंगे, या प्रोडक्ट में कुछ पैकिंग इस तरीके की होनी चाहिए, या कोई भी कमर्शियल क्राइटेरिया जब आप डालना चाहते हैं, तो आप उसके लिए एक बिड का भी ऑप्शन दिया गया है, जिसमें आप अपनी कस्टम कंडीशंस भी डाल सकते हैं। तो उसमें क्या होता है कि बायर अपनी फाइन ट्यून कर सकता है और रिक्वायरमेंट, और अपने कस्टम जो भी रिक्वायरमेंट्स है उनको भी फुलफिल करा सकता है। उसके अलावा जेम पर रिवर्स ऑप्शन का भी सुविधा दिया गया है। रिवर्स ऑप्शन यही होता है कि आपने या तो आप डायरेक्ट रिवर्स ऑप्शन कर सकते हैं कि जिसमें आप एक जो भी उसका बेसिक प्राइस होगा उससे डिक्रीमेंट लोग कोट करेंगे, और जिसका सबसे अल्टीमेटली कम प्राइस आएगा उसको आप ऑर्डर डाल देंगे। या आप ये भी कर सकते हैं कि पहले आप बिड करें, बिड के बाद जो सेलर्स उसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं उनमें आप या तो सर्टेन सेट ऑफ सेलर्स में भी टॉप 50% या कुछ को आप ले लें, या सारे सेलर्स को आपको अलाउ करना है तो उनको आप आरए के लिए भी इनवाइट कर सकते हैं। अब आरए में वो लोग आएंगे तो डेफिनेटली बिड में तो प्राइस कम किया ही होगा, आरए में फिर वो और कम कर सकते हैं। अब इसके लिए जो है गाइडलाइंस है आरए के लिए, आई थिंक रेलवेज में है कि 10 करोड़ से ऊपर ही आरए किया जा सकता है। तो ये डिपार्टमेंट टू डिपार्टमेंट वेरी करता है, जैसी आपकी डिपार्टमेंट की गाइडलाइन है उस हिसाब से आप फॉलो कर सकते हैं। जेम को कभी भी ऐसे सोच के मत चलिए कि जेम ने जो कह दिया वो ही आपके लिए भी एप्लीकेबल है। जेम को हमेशा एक प्रोक्योरमेंट प्लेटफॉर्म की तरह से लेके चलिए, और गाइडलाइंस जो भी है आपके डिपार्टमेंट की उनको जरूर फॉलो करें। कभी भी इस धोखे में ना रहें कि जेम पे मान लीजिए 3 दिन में बिडिंग हो जाती है, आपने 3 दिन में कर दिया कि जेम अलाउ कर रहा है तो हमने कर दी, पर आपके डिपार्टमेंट में मान लीजिए ये कहा जाता है कि आपको 21 दिन देने ही देने हैं, तो आप 21 दिन ही फॉलो करिए। मतलब जेम जो है एक फैसिलिटेटर की तरीके से उसको ट्रीट करिए। अब जेम को जो बनाने के 3 की पिलर्स थे वो थे कि एक तो प्रोक्योरमेंट में एफिशिएंसी लाई जाए, ट्रांसपेरेंसी और बढ़ाई जाए, और जो इंक्लूसिवनेस है, जैसे कि आपके जो भी वीकर सेक्शंस हैं लाइक एमएसएमई है, स्टार्टअप्स हैं, या एसएचजीज हैं, या छोटे आर्टिजन्स, वीवर हैं, उनको भी वही मार्केट की एक्सेस मिले जो कि एक बड़े लिमिटेड कंपनीज को या कोई बड़े ओईएम को मिलती है। मतलब हर एक के लिए लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड रहे, सबको मार्केट की एक्सेस रहे, और सभी अपना सामान जो है सरकार को बेच पाए। तो इसी के साथ जो है फिर अब जेम जो है अब इसको ऑलमोस्ट 5 साल होने वाले हैं, और 5 साल में आप इसका ग्रोथ कर्व देख सकते हैं कि पहले साल में हम लोगों ने 422 करोड़ का प्रोक्योरमेंट फैसिलिटेट कराया था, जो कि पिछले फाइनेंशियल ईयर में 1 लाख करोड़ जो है हमारा टच कर चुका है। तो ओवरऑल जो ये ग्रोथ स्टैटिस्टिक्स हैं ये थोड़ी सी पुरानी है अभी। इसमें अब वर्ल्ड बैंक ने एक स्टडी करी थी जेम के डेटा पर, तो उसमें ये पाया था उन्होंने कि जो कैटेगरी बेस्ड जो भी हमारे पोर्टल पे प्रोक्योरमेंट हो रहा है, उसमें जो मीन प्राइस है उससे हमारे पोर्टल पे करीब 9.75% सेविंग्स हो रही है। तो आप अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं कि हर 100 रुपए के प्रोक्योरमेंट पे करीब करीब 9 रुपए की जो सेविंग है वो जेम फैसिलिटेट कर रहा है। इसके अलावा भी हम लोगों ने कई सारी स्टडीज कराई हैं कि क्या टेंजिबल एंड इंटेंजिबल बेनिफिट्स हो रहे हैं जेम पोर्टल से। जैसे ही ये स्टडी आएगी तो हम लोग इसको जेम पोर्टल पर पब्लिश करेंगे, बट वी आर वेरी मच होपफुल कि जो जेम्स के थ्रू प्रोक्योरमेंट हो रहा है उससे काफी जो है बायर्स सेलर्स दोनों को ही अच्छा फायदा हो रहा है। ये कुछ न्यूज़ आर्टिकल्स हैं ऑनरेबल पीएम के एंड जिसमें कि जेम के बारे में कुछ कुछ बोला गया है, नॉट वेरी मच रेलेवेंट। तो जेम के जो स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं उनके बारे में मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि जेम का इकोसिस्टम कैसे काम करता है। तो हमारे जस्ट एक सेकेंड, विनीत आपने ज्वाइन कर लिया है? एमएसपी से कौन है?
This Ramesh here, sir. I have joined.
Ramesh, okay, yes. So,
Yeah,
so Ramesh will be ready with the presentation.
Okay.
This introduction part, you'll have to give a demo. So we can continue up to 5, right?
Yes, sir. I don't think there'll be any problem with that, sir. So
But
the scheduled time is till 4:30,
4:30.
but then there is no class after this, so we can continue after 5. It's
I'll
no issue.
just quickly wrap up the introduction part and then trainer can start the demo. So
Right,
our
sir. Right.
internal stakeholders are our GEM team. Then we have a hired technology partner in form of a managed service provider who is managing the complete portal end to end, like from start to end. It is managing. Then we have various kinds of buyers, sellers. Then we are not a standalone portal. We have various kinds of integration through which we verify all the details. Like we have integration with Aadhaar, through which we verify the Aadhaar number. Then GST integration, GST for verifying GST number. Then PFMS is the central government's payment system. It is just like iPass. So for facilitating online payment, we have integration with PFMS as well as we have integration with IRIPS and IPAS and Defense Procurement CGDA system and all. Then we have integration with MCA 21, that is Ministry of Corporate Affairs portal for verifying the company related documents. And then several other integrations with banks and recently we have also integrated with India Post for as we have integrated with them for facilitating the logistics and shipment of shipping of the consignments. And then we have also done some integration with CSCs, because the major problem nowadays is like sellers located in very small areas and far-flung areas. They are not much tech savvy. So how they can register on GeM and how they can register their products, how they can sell. So we have tied up with this common service centers. They will facilitate as a local point of contact for them. They will help them in various kinds of uploading the products and giving them some idea about how to participate and bid and all like that. Then we have various partners in form of banks, payment portals, and other commercial agencies and some educational institute. Like we have also tie-ups with the IITs and few other institutes for some various enhancement purpose and other things like that. Yeah. So these are the modes of procurements which I have already explained. So our trainer will now give you, I mean, details about these functionalities, how to use them, in which scenario you can use them, and in between I'll clarify things wherever required in perspective of railways and government buyer. Yeah. So yes, you can start.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Am I audible? Yeah.
Yeah, you're audible, Mr. Ramesh.
Yeah. I am just sharing my screen.
Participants, if you have any questions up till this point, please feel free to ask. If you cannot unmute yourself, you can always write in the chat. Please ask any questions that you may have.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, Mr. Ramesh, it's visible.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Ramesh Mahadevan. I'm the business facilitator for the state of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry for GeM. Well, I think all of you are avid users of GeM, so maybe I would not cover much of the introduction, and sir has also covered most of the introduction part. So let me quickly jump into the demo part actually. Okay, so before we start the demo, actually I would like to tell you these are the prerequisites which you need to have for you to get yourself registered on the portal, be it a primary user or the secondary user. Of course, the registrations would have already been done by you. Aadhaar number and Aadhaar linked mobile number is required, and also the email ID, the government email ID, which is ending with nic.in or gov.in or gembuyer.in is required for you to get yourself registered here in this portal actually. And this is same for both primary and secondary users in GeM. So I hope all of you are aware. I mean, may know that whether you are aware of the basics of the GeM portal, or do I have to cover those also? If you may point out, please.
Mr. Ramesh, I think that most people are aware of the basics of the GeM portal because we have had one class on GeM for railways, service contracts on GeM. And therefore, I think that the basics.
So I can directly jump into the
clear
demo, right? I can directly jump into the demo.
So we can, yes, I think we can go directly to the demo.
Right,
Participants, does anybody want to cover the basics of GeM before we move forward, before we go ahead? Anyone? Or we can go directly to the
demo part. Yeah.
Demo part. Okay, Mr. Ramesh, we've got our response. No, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Parth.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So we will directly jump into the demo. So this is the primary user registration. This is also you would have done. So I'm going to skip the primary user registration also. I'm just going to take you through from the direct purchase. So before I actually get into the procurement methods, I would like to put you some basics because that would be required for us to go forward. Because the GFR rule 149 is the basis, it mandates the central government institutions and organizations to procure only through GeM. That is the first part of GFR and GFR rule 149. And the second part sets up the threshold for procurements, which is minimum is 25,000 and the maximum is 5 lakhs actually. So if you're going to make a procurement less than 25, you go for the direct purchase or bidding or reverse auction. Or between 25,000 and 5 lakhs, you have something called as L1 purchase, and bidding and reverse auction can also be done in this range. And above 5 lakhs, you go only for bidding or reverse auction. So these are the various procurement methods that exist. And of course, if you are going to do a brand-based procurement, you go for the PAC mode, which is called as proprietary article certificate buying. So that is also available on GeM. So these are the various basic procurement methods that are, basic procurement methods that are there, which we'll be seeing in detail actually now. Okay, so let me quickly take you through the steps, of registration. Firstly, the primary user. We have two types of users in GeM: the primary user and the secondary user. The primary user is the HOD, typically the HOD or the head of the department. All right. So the role of the primary user will be typically to create himself or herself, then set up the organization for the usage, and create the secondary users in the system. The secondary users are typically the buyers, the consignees, the payment authorities actually, right? So, and we in the new feature we have something called as a technical evaluator. That's a new role that's been introduced in GeM, which has come very recent last week actually, right? So so these are the various roles currently that are available, the primary and the secondary. So the actual steps in the in the creation is first is the primary user is getting created, and then primary user creates the organization, and the primary user creates the secondary users, which are the buyers, consignees, and payment authorities. So there can be only one primary user in the system, and you can have n number of secondary users, be it buyers, consignees, or the payment authorities in the system actually, right? So, and the primary user creates the secondary users in the system. So I'm not going to cover those areas because those things are already done. So you need to have one primary user and at least one buyer, consignee, and a payment authority to initiate a procurement in the in the portal actually. So we are at the stage now, we assume that a primary user, the buyer, consignee, and the payment authority is already created in the system. So that is the assumption we are going to make, and with that we are going to showcase what are all the different procurement methods. We talked about the direct purchase, we talked about L1 purchase, we also talked about the bidding and reverse auction, which we'll be covering now. And recently, very recent development is the custom bids, which is also there in the portal. And of course, Vivoq bids can also be created. So these are the new features which have come in actually. So let me quickly jump to the direct purchase method. So I am just skipping the creation of the primary user and the creation of the secondary users steps. Okay. So now I'm going to demonstrate to you with the screenshots the direct purchase process. When do you do a direct purchase? Direct purchase is done when the procurement value is less than 25,000 rupees. Now, GeM has both products and services actually. So now I'm going to demonstrate the direct purchase process in the products section actually. So now we assume that the primary user is already created, and the secondary users, the buyers, consignees, and the payment authorities are also at least one is created in the system. There can be only one primary user in the system, and there can be n number of secondary users that can be created in the system. And one more important point is that the buyer and the consignee can be the same person. I mean, same user can perform the role of both buyer and the consignee. And of course, the payment authority is separate actually. Right. Now, we are going to showcase how a direct purchase is performed by the buyer now. So now the buyer logs in using his credentials. He is logging into the system. Okay. Now we are going to demonstrate how a product is being procured on GeM, right? So we click on products here, and we have all categories, and this buyer is going to procure chairs. Okay, he's having a requirement of a chair, and specifically he's going to look out for a revolving chair basically. So revolving chair is a category that gets listed once he enters chair here, and the revolving chair, these are the various categories which has this entity actually, right? So the buyer can select any of this category. Now he's selecting the revolving chair, and once he selects the revolving chair, all the chairs which are being supplied by various suppliers are getting listed. And on your left is the search filters. You have basically 4 types of filters, basically 3 types basically. One is the administrative, the financial, and the make or model selection filters are that. And of course, you can make the product specification also out here with the help of this filter. So these are the various filters that are available to you, which are available on your left hand side of the screen actually. Right now,
just 1 second, Mr. Ramesh, I'm so sorry.
Yes, please.
Somebody, Mr. Parth Chatterjee has asked to repeat one point. I'm not quite sure in the chat.
Okay, sorry, I'm not seeing that because yeah, please go ahead.
It's absolutely not a problem. That's why I'm here, Mr. Ramesh. It's absolutely not an issue.
Yeah,
Mr. Parth Chatterjee, could you just tell us what you want to clarify? What was the point that you did not get? What do you want to repeat? Parth Chatterjee. DP. Okay. You mean direct purchase? Okay, direct purchase. Right. Mr. Ramesh, could you just go back to what you said about direct purchase power?
Yeah, I'll go back. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Yeah. So what I was telling is, no, I'm going see the direct purchase is all about the procurements which are when if you're going to make a procurement less than 25,000 rupees cumulative, okay, be it one product or multiple products, okay, inclusive of all taxes, then we go out for some procurement method called that is direct purchase. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to demonstrate how a direct purchase is done for the procurement of a product.
Got it. I think we can skip forward now to to where we had left off.
Just let me clarify. I think Mr. Partha is asking direct purchase powers. So, as I explained earlier, powers are as per your SOP, departmental SOP. There is
Absolutely.
GeM can define.
Absolutely. GeM is not defined.
Provision for direct procurement up to 25,000, but say your powers are only up to 10,000, so you should procure only up to 10,000. Don't consider GeM as a guiding body or policy making body. Consider GeM only as a procurement platform. That is the, I think, biggest misconception which I have clarified in the, start is itself.
So the point here is, sir, actually, GeM allows you up to 25,000. Okay, that is the point. And it is up to your organization. Okay, in fact, if you look at the state of Tamil Nadu, in state of Tamil Nadu, the direct purchase you can do up to 5,000 rupees only. So, but GeM allows up to 25,000, right? So, end of the day, GeM allows till 25,000. It is up to the organization to decide how much, what are the powers that have been vested with a particular, authority. Actually, that's the point.
Thank you. I think Mr. Partha has also got it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll with your permission, I'll proceed, sir. Actually,
yeah, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we are demonstrating the procurement of a product now, right? So we select chair and revolving chair, and all the chairs manufactured by various suppliers are getting listed there, and we have the filters on the left hand side. Okay. Then we have we go and select the consignees out there. Okay, click on the select consignees and select the consignee. And if you want to make, if you want to do any of those filters, make in India or MSE or startup, you can select that. Otherwise, you can say no to all these things and then proceed actually, right? So and then on your left you find the product specification. This is the product specification of the product chair. One point I'd like to bring in is that GeM has beautifully defined the spec of almost lakhs of products. Okay, close to around 40 lakh products are being listed here, out of which out of 8,000 9,000 categories that is already listed in the portal actually. Now the GeM has beautifully categorically defined various products. Now this is the specification for the chair you see there actually, and for certain parameters you find it in different color. Those parameters which are in different colors are called as golden parameters in GeM. The golden parameters have got lesser relevance in the case of direct purchase, but more in the case of the bid or talking about it when we are discussing bid actually, right? Now here the golden parameters has a lesser significance, but we need to understand what golden parameters is what I would like to explain here actually, right? These are the set of parameters of the chair that is given there. Okay, and once you select or once you enter the chair, revolving chair, you get the chairs, and you will have the L1 for that particular category, which is also listed at the top actually. This is the L1 for the category which you have selected basically. And now it is up to you. If you want to go with L1, you can go with it. It is recommended that you go with L1. But if you are going with any of the other items, it will be asking you for an explanation what is the reason why you are going for this actually. So you give an appropriate reason and you can still proceed with any other products out there actually. Now assume that I'm continuing with this L1 product. I'm saying add to cart. Okay, then my direct purchase button will be enabled here, because since my purchase is less than 25,000 rupees, so direct purchase button is enabled, and I say proceed to checkout, and please note this item will rest in cart for 10 days actually. So after 10 days automatically it will be removed out of the cart, or if you want to remove this out of the cart, you can also delete it. That's the point. And you will also be able to see the trends of your previous predecessor buyers for the same product. the trends also will be available there for you actually. So these are the various small things which you will observe on the shopping cart basically. So then you say proceed to checkout, say direct purchase, you say confirm, you say continue, you get the order summary, you get the demand created here. Okay, your demand is already created. Then you enter the financial details, and of course you upload your the budget estimate out here in a PDF format, and you say continue, and your contract gets listed. You say accept and save, and click on verify, and once you enter the OTP, the order gets placed. So this is the steps. These are the steps through which you create a direct purchase order for a product actually. Now, after this, it doesn't end here. After this, the request goes to the supplier. Supplier accepts the request, or he may reject it, or he may just keep quiet. If he keeps quiet, automatically, the order gets cancelled after 3 days. Auto cancellation happens on the system basically. If he says yes, if the supplier says yes, then the process continues. Okay, and the supplier supplies the goods, and he creates the invoice in the system, and it goes to the now the ball goes to the consignee. The consignee creates the PRC, the provisional receipt certificate, which is precisely the document where it says that the product has reached him, but he has not verified or checked the product basically. So 10 days from then, he has to provide what is called as CRAC, Consignee Receipt and Acceptance Certificate. We call it as CRAC. So once we give that, at the CRAC stage, the products can be accepted or rejected. It can be totally fully accepted, fully rejected, or partially accepted or partially rejected. So anything can happen at the CRAC stage. So for the clearance that has already happened, 10 days from then, the payment goes to the supplier. So this is the overall flow, okay, that happens in the system, and this happens as per the contract. Actually, it's a contractual alignment there that is seen there, and if at all there's going to be any violation of any of these at any of these touch points, then incidents can be created by either party. It could be created by either by a buyer or by the seller, depending upon who is going to be the victim in that specific case actually. So if the buyer is going to be the victim, let's say in the case like there's a delay in the delivery, okay, then the buyer is the victim, so buyer can raise an incident against the seller. Okay, it's a separate arbitration channel that exists on this portal, and that has been governed by or arbitrated by senior of GeM officers actually, right? So this is the incident management flow. It can happen from the supplier part also. Suppose there's going to be a delay in the payment, the supplier can also raise an incident against the buyer. That is also possible. So incident is by either party, depending upon who is going to be the victim or victim in the specific case basically, right? Okay, now the contract is created, and that is done. So, and then after this, these are the various steps. Now I have clearly explained to you how the order flows through after the contract is created through the direct purchase steps actually. Now I'm not going to repeat this because the same steps are going to be repeated for the services also. It is just that in the earlier steps you log in as a buyer, okay, and you select services here instead of products, okay, and you select the service which you want to procure basically. Okay, there are close to around 200 plus services that are service categories that are available on this portal. So you may go and select any of those actually. So you give the contract start date and end date, okay, and then you get the list of services with the different sellers out there, and you can add one of those, and provided here also the procurement value should be less than 25,000. Normally, for service contracts, you may not have a value less than 25,000, but GeM allows, if it's going to be less than 25,000 also, you can also procure a service. A direct purchase of service is also available on the portal. The process is going to be the same. You're just going to add to the cart, you proceed to checkout, and you click on direct purchase, confirm. And here, the small addition here is that the billing cycle. So you may need to provide the billing cycle in the case of a service. It could be it could be a 30-day billing cycle, or it could be a quarterly billing cycle. So depending upon that, there's a slight difference in the process between the product and service, wherein each time, I mean, whenever the billing cycle is different. Suppose, let's say the billing cycle is 1 month. So the entire process, of creation of the invoice, the PRC, CRAC, and the payment will happen every month actually. Okay, so it is an iterative process in the case of these services, whereas in the product it happens only once actually. Of course, there is a concept called staggered delivery that is there. Depending upon the schedule that has been delivered, the process also happens. In the case of staggered delivery, for each and every schedule that is going to be delivered, the PRC, CRAC, and the payment is going to happen actually. So that is the basic difference between your service and the product procurement basically. Otherwise, typically the same process remains the same basically. So you confirm on that, and then you create a contract, and you say verify, and OTP is entered, the contract is created. So this is how you're going to do a direct purchase in GeM. Okay, this is going to happen when you're going to have when your procurement value is going to be less than 25,000 rupees. Now we're going for the L1 purchase, which is the second process. Like L1 purchase is to do with when there's going to be a procurement that's going to be between 25,000 and 5 lakhs. When you're going to make a procurement between this value, then you go for something called as an L1 purchase. L1 purchase is basically what happens here is that you compare 3 brands of the same product, and GeM shoots a brand which is at the lowest price. And if you're going to select that particular brand and you're going to go for it, you can go for a direct purchase up to 5 lakh rupees. So that is this L1 purchase all about. Again, L1 purchase is available for products as well as services actually. Now we are going to, I'm going to demonstrate how a product L1 purchase is done. Service I'm going to skip because the process is going to remain the same. So I will move forward with from there to the bidding process actually. So now the buyer logs in. The buyer logs in, and in this case he is going to purchase. The buyer is going to procure an air conditioner. So you can select all those parameters on the left, filters, whatever filters you wanted to specify, you can do that. Okay. And now here you see now this buyer is going to procure AC, right? So he is added the first brand, which is LG brand actually. Then he is adding the second brand, which is the Toshiba brand, and third one, which is the Hitachi. So all these 3 brands, if you notice, once he has added the third brand, once he has added the third brand, the start comparison button out here gets enabled actually, right? So now once he clicks on the start comparison, GeM is going to shoot out a brand which is at the lowest price. Now it can be like this. It will shoot out a brand which is at the lowest price out of these 3 brands which the buyer has selected, or it could be a brand which is at the lowest price at that point in time in the portal, which will be selected by GeM. Okay. So now if the buyer is going to go with that particular brand, then he is going to make a direct purchase up to 5 lakh rupees. So that is the L1 purchase process actually. Now in this case, Lloyd's air conditioner has come in as a L1, and it is not out of these 3. Okay, out of these 3 which is selected, but it is the product which is at a lowest price for the given product specification. Okay, at that point in time actually. So now the buyer selects this. Once the buyer selects this, okay, once he adds it to the cart, he has the direct purchase option to go for it actually. Now in this case, if you notice, the cost of the product is around 94,000, but still he is able to do a direct purchase because this process is called as a L1 purchase. This is a separate procurement method that is available in the portal. Now you click on the direct purchase. Okay, then confirm. The remaining process are all same. So you have to load the budget estimate. Okay, you have to the contract copy will be listed, and you have to accept and save. Click on verify, give the OTP, and the order gets placed. So the process remains the same, excepting for that step where you select 3 brands of the product and the lowest brand getting listed, and you are making an order out of the lowest brand. So that is the L1 purchase for the products. So now after this, the process which I have told you, the order creation process, wherein it goes to the supplier. Supplier creates the supplier supplies the goods, he creates the invoice, then it comes to the consignee, PRC gets created, CRAC gets created within 10 days, and the payment is made within 10 days from the CRAC. So this is the standard set of process which will follow this actually. Now this is for the product part. Similarly, you have it for services also. Now I'm not going to spend some time on this because this is something similar to the product, so I'm going to just move forward quickly. Okay, instead of products, this buyer is going to select the services here. Okay. So, and then here also he is going to compare three different services, and once he says compare, GeM list out an L1, and if he's going to select that L1 and add to cart, direct purchase is going to be enabled for him, and he clicks on direct purchase. And here, as I told you, in the case of services, the billing cycle has to be given. In this case, the buyer is choosing the monthly billing cycle. Okay, he confirms it, and the contracts, he accepts the contracts, and once the verify button is pressed, the OTP is going to be sent, and the order gets created. Yeah. So the point is, the authentication can be done through OTP. It can be done through e-verification or e-signing also. So any of these three methods can be adopted. I'm demonstrating it with OTP, but e-signing is also possible. Actually, that is also possible against creation of the order. Actually. Now I am going to just jump.
As per internal railway guidelines, you have to mandatorily use e-sign method, DSC.
Correct. You're right. You're right. Which is specific to the organization, railway organization. Yes, yes. But you can do any of these methods. You can do OTP, e-sign, okay, or right. Those are the various methods you can use basically. Now, as you rightly pointed out, for railways it's going to be e-signing only. Okay. Now we move on to the next procurement method, which is the bid creation. Again, bid can be created for products as well as for the services. This bid creation can happen in all the three categories. Be it the procurement less than 25,000, or between 25,000 and 5 lakhs, or above 5 lakhs. So any of these, any of these categories, the bid creation can happen actually. Right.
Just want to clarify one thing. All the participants,
yes,
are they a buyer or consignee, or what kind of area should we focus? If they are mainly doing the procurement of service, should we only demonstrate procurement of service? If few of you training coordinator can confirm, because I think procurement of products is mostly done in railways by stores department, where the responsibility of consignee is only generation of CRAC.
Sir, the process remains the same actually. I have the demonstration for services also. I can do both actually. So what I will do is, first I will take them through the products, and I will also take them through services next actually.
Yes.
So the process remains the same basically. Anyway, I will do that again. No problem. Yeah. Is that fine, sir?
No, I need a confirmation from IRIMEE team only.
Yeah, please.
Or participants. Okay, then we'll continue with the products.
Yes, sir. So first I will take up the products, and services is precisely the same steps we will follow, but I will take you through that actually. That's not a problem actually. Complete service also I will take you through. Then if time permits, maybe I thought I could cover some time, spend some time on custom bids also, which is a new feature that has come in, and BOQ bids also. Those are the two things which have come very newly, and people are using that actually. Yeah. So let me take you through the bid creation process. So buyer logs in here. Okay. Now I'm explaining the bid creation for the products basically. So you have products and services. So the buyer is selecting the products. And now in this case, this buyer is going to procure a desktop actually. So he's going to enter in the all categories, he's going to say, enter desktop. So once he enters desktop, okay, all the categories gets listed there, which are having that desktop, entity. So and the buyer can select any of those, category and proceed. Now in this case, he will be selecting computer, desktop, computer. That's what he will select. And once he selects that, he will land up in this page where all the desktop computers by various suppliers gets listed here. So the basic basis the product search, the market for the desktop computers is displayed. And as I already indicated, you have the filters on the left hand side. You have the administrative filter and the financial filter, which I think we have already said. Now, in this case, there's something in the administrative filter. You have something called as intent of buying. So now you need to select bid/RA if you are planning to go for a bidding method. So now here we are going to go for a bidding of product. So we have to select bid/RA here. If at all you go for a specific brand of a product, bidding on a specific brand of a product, then you can select PAC, proprietary article certificate. So now in this case, we are going to demonstrate only bidding. So we select bid/RA here. Actually. Then you say select consignee. And any of the filters you wanted to check, you can check on that. Okay. Here comes the parameters of that particular product desktop. Okay. So as I already told you, the parameters with different colors, they are the golden parameters. See, what is a golden parameter? Let me explain it here. Any parameter that will determine it will have an impact on the cost of the product is called as a golden parameter. Let me give it up with an example. Like, for example, if you're going for a computer, in the case of computer, you have the hard disk or a RAM, right? So whenever there's going to be increase the size of the RAM, let's say 128 GB, 256 GB, and 512 GB. So 512 GB will be more costlier than 128 GB system. Similarly, if you're looking at a hard disk, also depending upon the size, the price varies, and it has got an impact on the cost actually. So whichever parameter, see, like GeM has beautifully defined various parameters for the specified product category. It has beautifully defined the various parameters, and it has also defined the golden parameters for the same. So that can be 5 golden parameters or 10 golden parameters depending upon the kind of the product category actually. So how will you look at it? You will have different colors, different colored items, parameters, or the golden parameters, as you see in the screen actually. Right. Now, golden parameters do not have any much significance in the case of a direct purchase, but has a greater significance in the case of the bidding process actually. Now we are selecting this particular product and we are saying add to cart. So when you are selecting this product and adding to the cart, it doesn't mean that we are going to purchase this particular product. We are going to use the features of this product for the bidding. So that is what we are doing actually. It's not that we are going to procure this particular product. We are going to use the features of this product for bidding for a particular requirement basically. Now you have to specify the golden parameters here. So verify and select your golden parameters. So GeM automatically selects the golden parameter, and you may be able to proceed. But for certain golden parameters, okay, you may have to. For example, in this case, there are around 19 golden parameters for this particular product category. 7 the GeM was already selected, but remaining 12 is not filled in actually. So how do you fill it in? Based on any of these three methods. Either you allow any value or you choose the selected product value as a eligible value. So, or you can choose the manually you can choose the golden parameters. So any of these three things can be done actually. So let's quickly understand what are these. If you're going to say choose the selected product value as eligible value, it means that system will automatically take, okay, whatever value you have selected for the product which you have selected. So you have selected one particular product, it will automatically take the golden parameters of those product. So for example, if the product which you have selected has got is I mean as a golden, I mean as a RAM value of 256 GB, okay, so the supplier who has got 256 GB or 512 GB will be able to participate. So 256 and above will be able to participate in this particular bid actually. Similarly, if you select the last one, manually choose means you don't want the system to choose it. You will go and manually select the golden parameters there. And the last but not the least is allow any values. If you get allow any values, suppose let's say three values are there: 128 GB, 256 GB, and 512 GB are there. Okay, the suppliers with any of those values, could be 128 or 256 or 512 GB RAM, you will be able to participate in this bid. So that is about the allowed any values part actually. So these are the three ways you can select the golden parameters or populate the golden parameters in GeM. Okay, and then you say proceed to checkout. Now your direct purchase button will not be enabled. It will only be bidding or reverse auction that will be there actually. Direct purchase will not be enabled here. Okay, so once you select bidding and confirm, you land up in the 7-step process actually. This is the 7-step bidding process. Okay, please note the 7-step process is going to be same for the normal bidding. It is same for the custom bidding and also for the Vivoq bid. So if you're going to understand how you're going to do this bidding process, the process remains the same for all the three. Okay, the normal, the custom bid, and the Vivoq bid. In the case of normal bid, it will be between 10 days to 21 days. That will be your bidding period. And in the case of custom bids, it's going to be 21 days to 45 days. And for there's another kind of bids that gets created in GeM is the COVID-related category bids actually. So where the bidding period is just 3 days. Okay. So these are the various types of bids which you can create. So if you are able to clearly understand this particular bidding process, then it will be easier for you to imbibe the custom bid and the Vivoq bid, which is very easy to imbibe basically. So these are the 7 steps. These 7 steps are going to be same for the normal bid, the custom bid, and the Vivoq bid actually. So now as we have selected desktop computer, the specification will appear here. Okay, you will not be able to make any modification to this. You just have to do save and continue actually. Okay. Then the next step is the consignee details you have to enter. This consignees would have been already been created by the primary user. So those consignees which are already listed here can come here. But if you are going to add additional consignees for this particular bid, you'll be able to do it through an Excel template which can be downloaded here and it can be added. But please note, those consignees will have to be added by the primary user at the time of creation of the order. At the time of creation of the bid, it's fine, but at the time of creation of the order, those consignees should be available in the system. Then only you'll be able to create the order actually. Okay, GeM has got a new feature which is called as a staggered delivery. Okay, here your delivery can be split up into multiple schedules basically, right? So it could be like you can have a single let's say 100 computers you're procuring, so you can make it as 2 schedules of 50-50 each, which has to be delivered within the period of 3 months each actually. So that can be done. So that is the staggered delivery, and that facility has been brought in 4.0. Okay, then you have the bid details. In bid details, you have 3 different entities: the bid duration, the bid life cycle, and the bid offer validity. The concept of life cycle is going to be faded off shortly, but I mean, still it is not done at the moment. But the concept of life cycle is going to fade off. But at the moment, it is 90 days, which is getting defaulted there. And offer validity will be your bid life cycle minus your bid duration. As I told you, bid duration is between 10 days and 21 days for normal bids, 21 days to 45 days for the custom bids, and of course 3 days for COVID category bids. So suppose let's say your bid duration is 10 days, then life cycle, which is 90 days, 90 minus 10, which is 80 days. So your bid offer validity can be between 30 days and 80 days. So you can select any of those values. Okay. So these are the three entities which you need to be on top of: the bid duration, the bid life cycle, and offer validity. Okay. So estimated value, you can edit. You'll be able to edit the estimated value, and based on the estimated value, only your EMD APBG gets calculated. And you will also be able to give the the eligibility criterion for the participants, actually, the bid participants, actually. And just to highlight here, the bid process, we are now creating the bid. Once the bid gets created, it will go for the duration, bid duration, whatever duration we are saying, 10 days or 15 days or 20 days. Now, once the period is over, all the bidders would have participated by then, and the buyer goes for a technical evaluation. So at the technical evaluation stage, the buyer looks only at the technical aspects. Now, a new feature has been introduced, which is called as technical evaluator. So it can go to multiple technical evaluators, and these technical evaluators will have to be defined by the primary user now, actually. So, so all the bids which are at the, all the bids which are already been created, the technical evaluation can be, implemented. It's already implemented on the system, basically. So, so the technical evaluator is a new role that has come in, and once the technical evaluation is done, okay, and the system, I mean, the buyer will have to do the financial evaluation. Not much of work in the financial evaluation. Automatically, the L1 gets shooted up, and the buyer can place the order with L1. Actually, of course, there's a new feature that has come up in GeM, which is the L1 negotiation, where you will be able to negotiate with the L1 seller. Actually, that is also possible now. Okay, so and here is where you define the criterion for the the participants, bid participants. These are, if you require any documents from the seller, be it the experience criteria or the past performance or the bidder turnover, you will be able to obtain it. You will have to request it here, and the bidder will have to upload it at the time of bidding. Okay, so and if you are looking at any exemptions, you can also go for exemptions, actually, be it exemption with verified MSE or with startups, actually. And of course, EMD and EPBG is mandatory in GeM if it's going to be above 5 lakhs. If the procurement value is going to be more than 5 lakhs, the EMD and EPBG is going to be mandatory. Splitting is also allowed in this portal. Okay, buyer can opt to split if the quantity needs to be split among multiple sellers, actually. So maximum split can be done for 3 bidders, actually. MSE purchase preference can be given to maximum 5 bidders under the MSE category, whose price range is L1 plus 15%. Last but not the least is the special terms and conditions, which can, these are these common sets of special terms and conditions that are already available, which is GeM has beautifully compiled the terms and conditions based on the experience from different buyers. And this is common for all the buyers, actually, be it a central government, state, or PSUs. But if in case the buyer would require to add his own terms and conditions, there is something called as buyer specific ATC, which appears just below the human resource services button. It's not seen in this presentation, but you will have a button below this human resource services where you can click on that, and you will be able to upload the PDF which contains the terms and conditions specific to the organization.
Yes, but just I would like to add one more thing.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Doing any procurement, just go through our general terms and condition, and we have mentioned it at several places that in case any buyer adds any condition which is in violation of any CVC guideline or GFR guideline, or is specifying a particular make and model or a set of makes and model, then that condition will not be valid and will be considered as invalid for that particular bid. So do not add any tax bid based condition which is in violation of any Government of India guidelines. So just keep that in mind while adding any ATC, because any seller can raise any complaint with any authority, I mean, be it GeM or any Vigilance Commission or PMO or anywhere. We have received several cases, such cases in the past, so that's why I'm just flagging. So buyers or any other entities, they should be cautious while adding any condition. Yes, continue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Can I continue, sir?
Yes, continue, please.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So then once you select the terms and conditions and you submit it, okay, and you say click on this button, click on this checkbox, and now here you can do the verify OTP, okay, verify OTP or e-sign as specified by sir for the railways. That can be done. Once that is done, the bid document is placed in public actually, right? So this is the bid. See, until this stage, until you give the e-sign, okay, the ball is in your court. So if you want to amend any of these, okay, you will be able to amend that. So you can do that. And once you e-sign it, then that's it. So the bid gets placed in the public domain basically. Okay, so it will appear in the published bids. Until such time you publish it, it will appear in the draft bid actually. So then once you publish it, it comes into the published bids actually. So once this is published, then the bidders will participate. So you'll be able to see the total number of participations here. Okay. So if there's not going to be any participation within the given date, then you can go and extend the bid also for a specific period. So and you can look at people participating into the bid actually. Right. So this and if you want to provide a corrigendum to the bid, that facility is also available. There's something called as edit terms where you can go and click there, and you will be able to provide the corrigendum to the bid that is got already created. Okay, so that is the process, and once that is done, then you go for the financial evaluation. Technical evaluation is done. Once the technical evaluation is complete, where you actually accept or reject the bid, and now the new facility of seek clarification has also come in GeM in 4.0, where the buyers can seek clarification, okay, on various documents or various submissions, and the buyer is supposed to close all the seek clarification before he will be able to go to the next stage, the financial evaluation stage. So only when, if all the seek clarification is closed, he will be able to proceed. And now the buyer, if the buyer is going to reject a particular bidder, then the bidder can also challenge against the buyer with appropriate justifications actually. So that facility has also come in as part of version 4.0. So these are the two improvisations that have happened actually. Okay, now we have covered with the bid creation for the process. I mean, it's the products part. Let me quickly run you through the services as part also, which is pretty much the similar steps you will have. Okay, so you log in here as a buyer. Instead of selecting product, you will select services, and you select whichever service you want. Okay, you want to go for a human resource outsourcing or a, see, there are multiple services. There are close to around 200 plus services that are available. A lot of services are there. You just have to check, and all those services are pretty much relevant to the government procurement basically.
Mr. Ramesh, there's one question in the chat. That is,
Yeah, sorry.
PRSC auto-generated after 10 days time is expired.
Yeah, PRC is 3 days. Okay, PRC is 3 days, and CRSC is 10 days.
PRC
Auto generation.
Automatically generated.
Automatically generation if the action is not taken by the buyer, basically.
Right, right.
If the buyer takes the action in between, okay, he could have done it on 7th day or 8th day. Okay.
Right.
If no action is taken up to 10 days, auto CRSC gets created actually. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, 10 days is the non-negotiable number of days, right? So it has to be completed within 10 days, basically.
Right. Got it.
Yeah. Okay, then you go here, you give the contract start date and end date, and of course you fill up all those filters on your left. Of course, if it's going to be a bid only service, you have to select the bid. There's a checkbox here which is bid. So if your bid is going to be, see, most of the service category bids are bid only. Okay, so you may need to select that bid. Okay, give the contract period, give the minimum wage, number of services, you do a search, you select consignee, enter the select the consignee button, and you enter the consignee details and number of resources you want to procure. Okay, then you have the list of services out there, a list of suppliers out there. Then you say, you can do the selection depending upon the various parameters for that particular category. Okay, you have multiple service categories. For each of the service categories, the service parameters are beautifully defined. So you can go and select. Now, in this case, let's say I want to procure a data entry operator and I want to procure a stenographer also. Now, I will not be able to click that together. Please note. Okay. So under such circumstances, I will have to create a bunch bid actually. So what I have to do is that first I will have to select data entry operator, then select my, person and add to cart. And then again, I go for, I go for stenographer and add to the same cart, right? So that is how I do that. That's called as a bunching process, which exists in GeM. So group of related categories can be bunched. This happens in the case of both products as well as in the case of services. So please note that that's a point to be noted here. Okay, then you say proceed to checkout. Then here you will not have direct purchase because our value is around, it is around 69 lakhs, right? So 69 lakhs is the the value. So you will not find the direct purchase here. So you have only bid only option here. So this, of course, we have also selected only bid only option there. So bid only will appear here. So click on this bid, confirm, and then you land up in the 7-step process. So this 7-step process is something similar to your product, which we did already, actually. Right? So only difference, you may have to add the billing cycle. So that will, so you select this consignee, okay, and the rest are all same. The bid life cycle days, validity, and all those points are going to be the same. PMD, EPBG, then your additional terms and conditions. Okay, and then you do your e-sign. Once you do the e-sign, your bid gets placed in the public's domain, basically. So the public will be able to view it actually. There's something called as ongoing bids on the portal, where even without logging in, the public will be able to view it actually. So they don't have to log into the system. Without that, even without that, he will be able to view it actually. So that's about this one. I will just quickly take you through the okay. Now let me quickly take you through the custom bids actually, which is also the new thing. The process is going to be similar to your basic bidding process. Okay, just the process that I'll explain what custom bids is all about. So when you are going to go for custom bids, when your procurement value is going to be greater than 5 lakh rupees and your product or service category is not available in GeM portal. So only then you will be going in for custom bids. Earlier, GeM was allowing you to go for custom bids for any value, but now it is allowing you only to go for custom bids only for the value greater than 5 lakh rupees, be it products or services actually, right? So now I'm going to demonstrate quickly how a custom bid gets created in GeM. Okay, now I'm logging in. Okay, buyer is going to log in now. He clicks on the dashboard, and here in the case of custom bids, what you need to do is that you need to create what is called as a GeM availability report actually. So this GeM availability report is created in GeM, and it proves whether the product or service is not available in GeM. Okay, so that is for that reason you need to create a GeM availability report in the system actually. So he clicks on GeM availability report, and GeM availability report is created, and you will find a small icon like this, which is like a settings icon in your mobile, okay, which is used for creating the custom catalog. So now the product or product is not available on the portal, right? So you need to create a catalog of that product, then only you will be able to do the bidding. So that is the simple difference. In the case of normal bidding process, what you do is that you select a product from the market and you go for bidding. You choose those features and you go for bidding. Now the product itself is not available in the market. Okay. So what you're going to do, you're going to create a custom catalog, and then you select that custom catalog and you go for bidding. So that is what custom bidding is all about actually. So once you select that settings icon, you land up in this page. You click on you enter the titles details, a reference price, and selling quantity. It could be the selling unit could be quantity, or it could be quantity, or it's basically the UOM, unit of measurement actually, kg, or anything else. Okay, so and GeM would expect you to add at least one category. So you can add up to 3 categories, but it will expect you to at least add one category which is relevant to the category you are procuring now. For example, okay, you're going to procure a computer, but it's a well-known fact that computer will be available on GeM. Okay, I'm just giving you an example. So any category that is related to the computer, for example, pen drive or mouse, okay, or keyboard. So any of these categories could be added here. Okay, so that the suppliers who are supplying those categories will be getting the information about this custom bids. So that is the idea. So, but at least one category should be added here. GeM has made mandatory to add one category here, but you can go up to 3 categories. Okay. Now, you can choose the items. Whatever items you want to choose, you can choose, and you will be able to upload the specification documents here. Then once you do that, you land up in this page. Okay. And then you're going to add the custom catalog. Okay. So your catalog is created. So now I hope you understood the difference. Okay, in the earlier case, we selected a product from the market and then we created the bid, the normal bidding process. Now we are doing it we are doing a custom bid. For custom bid, we are just creating a custom catalog and then we are going ahead with the bidding process. Now we add this. This is the custom catalog which we have created, and we click on add to cart, and then we enter the consignee details. Say proceed to checkout. Okay, we land up in the 7-step process. Now I hope all of you are aware of this 7-step process, right? So which we have already done. Now there are certain differences between your normal bid and the custom bid actually. In the case of custom bids, okay, the difference you will know by now. You will see the specification details on the screen itself for the normal bid, but here you will be able to download the specification document actually. So that is the difference actually. So you have already uploaded the specification document, and now you will be able to download the specification document here actually. Okay, then comes the bid duration. As I told you, bid duration is 21 days to 45 days actually, right? 21 days to 45 days. So it can be 10 days can also be done, but in that case, a competent authority approval is required. Okay, so a competent authority, the system will expect you to upload the competent authority's approval. Only then you will be able to default it to 10 days. But otherwise, normally for custom bids, it's going to be 21 days to 45 days. And one more important point is that your procurement value should be greater than 5 lakhs actually. Only then you will be able to go in for a custom bid actually. Okay, then you will have to give the simple you have to give a self declaration out here that you have appraised the competent authority of the custom bid actually. Save it. The remaining all steps are going to be the same. Your EMD, EPBG, splitting, TNC, and everything is going to be the same. Now the bid document is created. You can view the bid document. Then you can e-publish it, or once you do the e-sign, the bid gets published to the portal. So that's about the custom bids. So I'm not going to look at the seller aspect to that. The seller aspect I'm not going to explain it to you. So this is how a custom bid gets generated in a system. Now the other new feature I would like to discuss quickly is about the Vivoq part. The Vivoq is something which has to be which is a new feature in GeM. Okay, so it's typically for the EPC based structured contracts. Okay, And in the normal bidding, you can do either item-based bidding or total value-based bidding. Meaning, suppose let's say I am bunching 3 items. Let's say for this training, I am procuring a notepad, a pen, and a pencil. Okay, these are the 3 items I am procuring. So now I can bunch these 3 items: notepad, pen, and pencil into a single bid. Actually, now when I do that, I can do an item-based evaluation. That is, for notepad you will have a separate L1, for pen you will have a separate L1, and for a pencil you will have a separate L1. That is an item-based evaluation. Or I can have a complete total value-based evaluation, wherein the entire value, the cost of the notepad, pen, and pencil put together will be evaluated, and the bid will be evaluated based on the total value. So these are the 2 types that are prevalent in the bidding process. But in the case of BOQ, total value based evaluation only can be used at the moment. Whereas in the case of normal bidding, you can do both item based and total value based. Both are available, but you have to select it at the time of creation of the bid. Okay, now I'm going to show you how a BOQ bid can be created. Bill of quantities bid can be created. So the buyer logs in. Okay, he has to add the BOQ item now. So now first step is to add the consignee. Please note the quantity is 1, defaulted to 1. This is a system requirement. Okay, you don't have to do any change to this. It is defaulted, and you just have to submit it. Actually, no changes to be made. Okay, here you can add up to 3 categories, as I already indicated, for the custom bid, and for the BOQ bid also you can go up to 3 categories. Now, at least 1 category has to be added basically. Okay, fine. Now, now this is the document. Okay, this is the file. Okay, specification file which you have. So you have columns A to H, which will be added by you: the item number, item title, item description, item quantity, UOM, consignee details, zip code, and delivery period. All those things has to be entered by you between A to H. These are the columns which will be filled by the buyer actually. Okay, so you have to upload the file. So once you say add item, you go to the proceed to checkout. Once you do proceed to checkout, this is always bid only. So you click on bid button, confirm, and you land up in the 7-step process. So again, it is going to be a 7-step process as you did for bid. The only difference here would be, it will be a BOQ entity, whereas in the case of the normal bid, it's going to be the complete specification. Now you will be able to download the specification document, download the sample BOQ, and you will be able to upload the BOQ. So now you will be downloading a sample Excel file like this. It is a template based. You will not be able to change the template. Okay, it is going to be the same template you will be using. So you have to download that, you enter it, and you have to upload it. So now other steps are going to be the same. Okay, the bid duration, the bid life cycle, offer validity, all these things are going to be the same. So there's no change in that. So in the case of experience criteria, in the case of the documents requested for, there's one more document which is called as compliance of BOQ spec and supporting document, which can be requested for from the seller. Okay, this can be done in the document. This can be requested for in the documents requested from the seller. This document will provide the tolerance part actually. Okay, so that can be provided by the seller here in this document. Other things are going to be the same: the eligibility criterion and the preferences part if you want to give for MSCs or startups. Those things are going to be the same. EMD EPBG, no change. Here you see that buyer added bid specific ATC. This is the button I was talking about. This is where you can go and give your own terms and conditions which can be added here. As sir also rightly pointed, that it has to be handled very carefully. Okay, so and then you submit it. Okay, then you do an e-sign. Once you do the e-sign, the bid gets published. Actually. That's it. So, and then it is, see, in each of these bidding process, the stages are the same. Okay. The bid period, after the bid period, the participants are into that. Technical evaluation is done. And technical evaluation, from technical evaluation, it goes to financial evaluation. In financial evaluation, you arrive at the L1 actually. So the entire operations will have to be completed within 90 days. 90 days is the life cycle period. The concept of life cycle is also going to go off now shortly, but at the moment we have it still live. I mean, I think the technical team is working on that. But currently it is 90 days, which is the total period within which the entire bidding process, and you should have created an order within this order of the contract within this particular period. Actually. So this is what is the bidding process I wanted to explain. Actually. And one more process I would like to talk to you about is the milestone payment. Okay, this is another new feature that has come up, which is called as an ICT bid. We call it as an ICT bid, installation, commissioning, and testing. So suppose you are procuring a product, a machine, let's say. Okay, that has to be installed, commissioned, and tested. Okay, so so you can split it basically. So initially, you can say 80% of the payment you will make once the product has reached you. The remaining 10% or remaining 20% can be made once the the installation, commissioning, and testing is completed. And once the site is ready for installation, testing, and commissioning, you can take up to 90 days. Okay, to install. The supplier can take up to 90 days to complete it. Once that is completed, the remaining percentage, either 10 or 20%, can be paid to the supplier. So this is the milestone-based bids. These milestone-based payment bids have been enabled for all the categories which are in which it is relevant. But if supposing you have any category for which you have to go for a milestone bid, and if the category doesn't have it, you may request GeM. GeM will be happy to help you out to enable that for the particular category. So it is left with the category owner. So the category owner will see, once the request is made, the category owner will be able to enable that by a click of a button here. So that's the part, and I hope I've covered most of the things that are required for you at the moment. If anything is, sir, anything is required other than this?
Actually, Mr. Ramesh, first and foremost, thank you for a very detailed and a very interesting demonstration. I had one question of my own, actually, which is a problem which is something that I was wondering personally. Yes, actually, you were talking about the procurement of both goods and services separately.
Yes, sir.
Now, if we are talking about the procurement of, about the procurement of services, then actually there is one issue one runs into, which is the MSE qualification, MSME or MSE. Now, on the one hand, one requires the MSE policy to be followed under GeM. On the other hand, the MSE policy cannot actually be followed for things like service contracts, because then that will go against the entire spirit of the thing.
So, the preference of MSEs, yeah.
Exactly. Especially when we talk about, for example, the experience criteria.
Correct.
For the experience criteria, or the 80, 50, 40 criteria that we have in GeM. Now, which of the in that case, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to
at the moment, I think MSE policy is not there, sir. That's the point I should bring it to the table. Actually, as such, for services, it's not available at the moment, the preferences.
For service contracts,
not available.
Is not there, right?
Not available.
Okay. Because like one tender that I'm dealing with right now is for vehicle hiring. Okay. And I could not go ahead without giving in fact, let me just share with you a section of the bid document right now, if you don't mind.
Okay. Can I stop sharing, sir?
No, yeah, it's fine. I mean, otherwise I can share, so it's no issue. Please.
Okay.
Just 1 second. Right. Is my screen visible to everybody? This is the bid document
Just a moment, sir. Let me stop sharing. So I am also sharing in the screen. So
okay. I'll just
I would stop sharing now.
Sure.
Just a moment.
I've stopped sharing.
Just hold on, sir. Please.
Sure. Please take your time.
So before I close my lecture, I would like to. I mean, sir, you can we can take up the question after this, sir.
Sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah. See, before I close, I would like to tell all of you that GeM is. You may follow GeM on any of these social networking sites like LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. GeM is available on all these social networking platforms. So I would request you to follow GeM on these. Social networking sites, so that you get to know about the latest about the portal actually. And one more point, we have an excellent support network that is there. Okay, we have beautiful FAQs that are available on the portal, which you may always refer to. And GeM has got something called as Ask Me Jemmy, which is a chat bot, which is the AI machine learning based bot actually, which is an interactive one that's also available on the portal. You may refer to that. New users can make use of that, and of course the experienced users can also get to know about the any queries they have got. They can get that ratified, and you may be able to chat live with the service desk through the live chat. And any of the queries you have, you can also refer it to the help desk. And any support. See, I already spoken about the incident part. That is a separate channel. Wherever there's going to be a contractual violation, it has to be taken through incident. And this is a separate channel. Wherever you have any issues with respect to GeM, you may have to escalate it to the support team. The contact details of the support team is flashing on your screen. And you may also, have an opportunity to live chat with the service desk executive. So that can also be done through the Ask Me Jemmy. And I recommend people to go through the FAQs, which are getting updated on a regular basis, where you will find the latest information. Okay, after this, interaction, you may have a lot of new, because GeM is a dynamic portal, and you'll have a lot of new things coming every day. So it is better to go through the FAQs, which is kept updated at all times actually. And you also have training modules that are also available as a part of this portal, where you can go and refer almost whatever we discussed now. All of them are available on the training module, so you may go and refer there also. So that will conclude my presentation. So now we can go ahead with the questions, and of course we can take it up now. So I'll stop share now. Thank you very much.
Participants, are there any questions, please, regarding anything related to GeM that you would like to ask? Anyone? Okay. In that case, participants, first and foremost, thank you very much, Mr. Ramesh and Mr. Ansari, for taking the time to walk us through all this, because it is still something that is quite new for us, especially when we are talking about things like service contracts and reverse auctions and bunched bids. So thank you so much for helping us out with all of those things. I would be really grateful, Mr. Ramesh and Mr. Ansari. I mean, I'm not sure who will be in charge of that, but I'd be really grateful if you could provide us copies of these presentations that you have used. I think Mr. Ansari has my number. Otherwise, I'll just put my number here in the chat. It's
sure, sir. I will share with you.
Yeah,
sir, don't worry. I will share with you.
Imtiaz, you can share that presentation with sir. That's number one.
Definitely, sir.
And number two, sir, one more point is that in the training module, okay, you will find all the presentations, and the latest presentations which have come up also is available there, sir, for your reference anytime. Okay,
right.
Because that gets updated all times, so you can refer to that. But of course, Ansari can share the details, share this presentation also with you. No problem, sir.
That'll be amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And of course, Mr. Ansari, especially because I happen to have his number, I reserve the right to bug him in future.
Sure, sir. I'm always here to assist you. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you so
Actually,
much.
I'm based out in Patna.
Participants, if there are no further questions, then I think we can close this particular session. And tomorrow morning, please join in time at 9:30 in the morning for tomorrow, the final day of the course. And tomorrow before lunch, we will try to have a valedictory session and so that you can be free in the afternoon tomorrow. Thank you so much to all the participants and especially to Mr. Parth Chatterjee for his enthusiastic participation and the many interesting questions he asked during the lecture, and to all the other participants as well for your patient listening and for your occasional engagement. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thanks, participants. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all the participants. Thank you, Ramesh sir. Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
Imtiaz. Thank you. Yeah.